Lesson number 2, types of government. In this lesson, you'll be learning about different types of government. There are countless amounts of types of government in the world today. A lot of them are combinations of the types of government you'll learn about in this lesson. We're just going to focus on the big ones, the most popular ones, and the ones that are used to create some of these governments that we have in our society today. So what I mean by that is in some countries there's a combination of like monarchy and democracy. Like maybe some countries do have a king and a queen, but in the same country people do still get to vote and things like that. So a lot of countries do have a combination of these. We're just going to focus on the big terms, the big ideas, the major types of government, and later in the year we're going to get into how they're combined. So the topic goals are the things you'll be able to do and the things you should think about while you're reading. You're going to be able to describe the different types of government. There'll be about 5 or 6, and at the end you should be able to briefly describe the main idea or the main characteristic of each one. You'll be able to distinguish the different types of government based on prominent characteristics. What that means is you'll be able to tell the difference between the types. So by the end, you can look at democracy, you can look at dictatorship, and you would be able to tell me or anyone else the main difference. You'll also be able to compare and contrast the different types of government. Remember, that just means be able to show how they're kind of the same and in what ways they're kind of different. So again, those aren't things you have to do. You don't have to do it on a piece of paper or anything like that. They're just things that you'd be able to do at the end of the lesson. So the essential questions are the questions I'd like you to think about while you're completing the lesson and reading. How do different types of governments function? Meaning, what kind of things do they do to make sure that their countries are run well, in their opinion at least. Who has the power in different types of government? That's really important. Who has the power? Is it the people? Is it a king, a queen, a dictator? Is it no one? Is it a group of people? So that's something to think about as well when you're reading. Who in these different types of government has power? Last question that I want you to think about, and this goes back to our last lesson, is what would Hobbes think about these different types of government? And what would Locke think about these different types of government? So when you're reading about maybe dictatorship, you could think to yourself, would Hobbes like this, or would Hobbes think this was a bad idea? Same thing with Locke. You could say, would Locke like a dictatorship, or would Locke think that it wasn't such a good idea? So remember to look at the questions while you're reading. Remember, the reading is right underneath this video. You just have to click on the link. And I think it's a really good idea to look at the questions while you're reading that. I think it makes it a lot easier. If you have any questions or need any help, please reach out. If not, good luck.